Meet radio DJ Becky Measures. 24 years old, full of life, but living with a potential death sentence.
I don't want to have to spend some of the best years of my life worrying about the fact that I might get cancer. It might, come upon me at any time.
14 of her female relatives have all developed the disease. Now, a revolutionary test will tell her if she's next.
It's bad news, I'm afraid. Is it a shock?
Determined to stay alive, she must now make her hardest decision ever.
Tomorrow I go in hospital for a double mastectomy and reconstruction, but I don't have breast cancer.
At the end of a 2-year heart-searching and often heartbreaking journey, she'll become the youngest woman in Britain to ever have healthy breasts removed before the disease strikes. My breasts are something that I think really could kill me. And if I don't do this, then I'm not going to be able to have the life that I foresee for myself. And I want that.
.102 FM in Baslow, 107.4 in Newbold. Good morning, this is Peak FM, it's 7:25.
A winter morning in Chesterfield, and the most important day of Becky Measures' life is underway.
You all know that today is a very big day for our Becky, isn't it, my darling?
It is, yes. As some people are aware, my mum runs the...
In a few hours, she'll learn whether she has the disease that's blighted her family for generations.
And we do actually have hereditary breast cancer in our family. And because of that, I have been entitled to a genetic test, which is to see if I carry the breast cancer gene or not. And today is the day I get my results from that.
You must be quite nervous.
I'm not nervous because I've known about it for quite a long time, you see, and it's just sort of a day that I always knew was going to happen, but you sometimes don't think it's going to come. But it'll all be fine.
What happens if it's positive, and then what?
If I have got the gene, then I've got an 80 to 95% chance of getting breast cancer.
Such odds would come as a shock to most women, but not for Becky. She's grown up seeing many of her relatives suffer from the disease. Her grandmother died from it. And, to stop from following suit, her mother opted to have her breasts removed before her cancer developed.
My gut instinct would be that I have got the gene. I've never even thought that I haven't got it. Not really sure why, it's just something that's, always been, there really, and I think I'd be more shocked if I didn't have it, to be honest.
While always aware of the threat, Becky assumed it would be years before she'd have to confront it. But then her cousin Helen was diagnosed with the disease. She was just 29.
Hey, up me ducks, how are you? I wouldn't have even considered having the genetic test until I was sort of late 20s, because we did think that that's when the risk period was, sort of early 30s, didn't we, the pair of us?
Yeah, well that's what we thought all along, isn't it?
It's just awful, I just hate the fact that, you've had to go through what you've done to sort of, for me to be alright,
That's the horrendous irony of the whole thing, is that it's taken you to have to develop it much earlier than any of us could have even dreamed of it.
Despite having a positive genetic test in her early 20s, Helen had decided she'd wait before considering surgery. But then cancer struck earlier than anyone predicted. Helen's now recovered, but her experience of the illness made a huge impact on Becky.
I know I couldn't do that. Seeing one of my best friends and my cousin go through all that. She is a totally brave, bubbly, fantastic person. And to see her get down sometimes, I've thought I couldn't do it like she has. I'm not brave enough to go through cancer.
If any, good comes of it, and...
I think Becky and all of us found it really upsetting that Helen, even at 29, she'd left it too late to prevent cancer. And it really has hit home to all of us that this is just creeping down through the years, and, we can't be sure, at what age you might be at risk now.
After seeing Helen go through the illness, Becky decided to bring her own genetic test forward. And so, in 2004, she made an appointment at St Mary's Hospital in Manchester.
Hey, Becky. Hi.
The test is short, but the results could change her life forever.
Yes, thank you. You.
If positive, it means she'll have an 85% chance of getting breast cancer, which could strike at any time.
Hello there. Hi, come on in, Becky.
All
Take a
right.
seat. Hi, Wendy. Come on in.
Her consultant is Professor Gareth Evans.
To you.
He knows that she wants the test, but he must make sure that she fully understands the implications.
It's, whether you want, at the moment, that level of certainty about whether you carry the gene fault or not.
Yeah.
And in terms of the future, whether that's going to make a difference in terms of whether you plan to have your family earlier, whether you maybe opt for preventive options at an earlier stage. Have you thought that through?
Well, we've thought about the preventative surgery earlier on, most definitely. I mean, obviously I want to be able to have a look at it, sort of go and talk to surgeons and things like that when I do find out. I think I'll know more what I want to do when I actually find out if I've got it or not. Yeah. I think that's your big decision maker more than anything, isn't it? To know when you're going to have it done. I think the preventative surgery is definitely probably what I'll do, but it's when.
So that's breast preventive surgery.
Breast preventive surgery.
And obviously we're keen to try at least to develop other means of preventing breast cancer, but at the end of the day the most effective means is surgery, and for a proportion of women they feel that's the right decision. So are there any other questions at all? Definitely want to go ahead today?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
That's right, just breathe in and out, deep breaths.
All right, my arm's just gone a bit numb.
Most breast cancer is not hereditary, but about 5% of cases are caused by inheriting a faulty gene. The test to find this fault has only been developed in the last 10 years, and it will compare Becky's DNA to that of a relative known to have the fault. Because Becky's mum has the faulty gene, her chances of inheriting it are exactly 50-50.
It's a bit like reading War and Peace and Lord of the Rings and trying to find the spelling mistake, the one spelling mistake, which might be one letter wrong in the entire book. And so the test is to look at that segment of the gene with the spelling mistake, and it's a yes-no answer.
The genetic fault in Becky's family has travelled down the generations, claiming the lives of at least 14 female relatives. Her mum, Wendy, researched the family history when she watched her own mother die from the disease. It was only then she began to suspect that it was hereditary and that she would be next.
The original breast cancer that I've managed to find in our family goes back 8 generations ago, that I have a death certificate of my great-great-great-great-great-grandmother. She died from breast cancer and she was in her 70s. And in fact, as it's gone through the generations, it's got considerably younger all the time.
Armed with these findings, Wendy convinced doctors that her family suffered from hereditary breast cancer. She also persuaded them to take drastic action. To stop her becoming the latest family victim, she became one of the first women to undergo preventative breast removal.
If I hadn't been the kind of character that I was, that was certainly not going to just sit around and wait for it to happen like the rest of the family, I could probably be in that cemetery now. That's quite likely, because my mum died in her 40s, early 40s. I'm now 51. I do have the faulty gene, and so far, up to now, I've managed to escape the effects of it by the operation I've had.
It is now 6 weeks since Becky had the gene test. She's kept a positive outlook throughout that time, but today she's nervous. The results are ready, and she's about to learn whether the cancer she fears is lying in wait.
Okay. It's bad news, I'm afraid.
Right.
You do have it.
Right. Whew.
It's not a shock, is it?
No, not really, but I just, I don't know.
Is it a shock?
No, I don't know.
You're right.
I'm laughing at the same time. And it's not a shock at all. I don't know if it's just, oh dear.
It is for Mum. It is for Mum.
I think it's just all such that, because it was such a guessing game towards the end.
I know.
But I knew anyway. I knew ages ago. It's like a relief, but then I'm not sure. I don't know why. Oh dear. I'm okay now.
Obviously, the next step for you, if you're thinking about surgery, is a psychological assessment, which is part of our protocol to make sure that you're really prepared for all of the impact of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know about the options. You've had had years to think about it.
Oh, this is it. You see, I know all the things, and everything like that. Just for a split second, it's just all gone from my mind for a minute.
No, it would do. It would do.
Yeah, obviously, I know everything, and it's just going to be sort of sitting down and thinking about it now. What's the next step, isn't it? Right.
But no need to make decisions today.
No, I know that you'll look after me.
Of course we will.
I know you will.
Of course we will.
That's fine. So, right. I'm fine now. It was just the initial.
More nerve-wracking this by thousands of % than ever myself.
And sometimes you naturally feel a little bit of guilt. Of course, there's no logic to that, and it's not your fault. You didn't know that you carried anything, and we all carry faulty genes. We all pass down our little load of faulty genes to our kids, and it's just that some of them are more important than others.
I think I expected her to have the fault, I really do, and I just hoped that she wouldn't have. And I just thought, why has she got to sort of do this really now?
It means that I've actually inherited the BRCA1 gene off my mum, and it means I've got an 80 to 90% chance of getting breast cancer now. Obviously, I know that the preventative surgery is there, and that's an option that I can take, and I know that they are always working on things all the time, so there's still hope there now. But if the preventative surgery is the only option, then that looks like something I'm really going to have to think about and, sort of get involved, have a look at.
It's been 7 months since Becky learnt that she carries a faulty gene, giving her an 85% chance of developing breast cancer. Because of her young age, even regular screening won't help, and any preventative medicine seems a long way off. That leaves one final, drastic option. Having discussed it with her family, Becky's considering preventative surgery, having her breasts removed before cancer strikes.
Every woman in our family that's had the gene has had breast cancer unless they've had the preventative surgery. I feel that the preventative line is totally the right thing for me to do. I'm young, I'm 24. This is going to be 1 year out of my life to probably add on however many years. We could be talking tens of years. So, what is the choice?
But before she can go ahead with surgery, psychologists need to be sure that she has fully thought through every aspect. She must go through a psychological assessment.
I've always known that the surgery, if it's the only thing that's going to prevent it, then that is the thing that I'm going to do always. No,
so it's
nothing.
Been a pretty solid decision.
It's been a totally solid decision. That I feel myself that the longer I leave it, the more I'm going to get worried about it, and the more I will, whenever I have to have my first check, I know that I'm going to be nervous about it, and the more that goes on, the more nervous I'm going to be.
Yes.
So
it's nothing that you can avoid.
Yeah, exactly.
But just because you're young, and young within our programme perhaps to be going through this, Have you thought about how you might feel in the longer term? For example, if you wanted to have babies in the future, you wouldn't be able to breastfeed and those sorts of things. Have those kinds of thoughts come into mind at all?
The breastfeeding thing did occur to me. It has made me think, well, I'll never, be able to do that. That's something as a mother I will never be able to do. But a lot of ladies can't do that. So to put my life at risk to be able to do something I might not be able to do, to me doesn't really make sense. Okay. So that's sort of...
Well, the important thing is that you thought about it.
It did occur to me, it did cross my mind, yeah.
In reaching her decision, Becky's not only had the support of her family, but also of her long-term boyfriend, Carl.
Coming over to the hospital on the Thursday when I'm in.
Yeah.
You're going to be there?
Yeah.
Excellent. So you're going to have some time off work?
Yeah, well...
Right? He's been an absolute rock. He is an absolute rock, a huge support. He's known about the breast cancer thing in the family since I first met him. It's never been a non-public thing. It's always been something that's, been talked about all the time. He's a fantastic guy, really. Back to the hospital on the Wednesday.
Yeah, well, how long are you going to be in for, anyway? She had it in her head really before she had the result anyway. She knew that it was the only way. We always mention and say, oh, maybe there might be a miracle cure, but that never happens in everyday life, so. But now it's always been the first thing. She said if there's options, she'll look at them, but this is the most secure way of knowing that she's not going to get it. There is a small chance she could still get it, but that's less than normal everyday women, so I'll worry about it till it's finished, and, well, you worry about it anyway, because I love her to bits.
Carl does genuinely think I'd rather have you here without your real breast than 6 foot under, and I have sat him down and I've spoken to him loads about it, and he does genuinely think, as long as I'm all right, he's all right. But that's what loving someone is all about, isn't it?
It's time to grow up a bit, isn't it? You can only be young for so long, then you have to grow up a bit. I admit I'm the biggest kid about, but when it comes to things like this, I don't go out with her for her boobs. I go out with her for who she is.
Men are not as bothered about boobs as you might think they are. A lot of women do worry about that. Of course, you're going to get the old bloke out there that's like, boobs, boobs, boobs. What are they? Do you know what I mean? What does that matter? If you've got somebody that loves you and wants to be with you, it doesn't matter.
Some women will say, no, I want the operation I would have if I had breast cancer, which is take everything, nipples, skin, the lot.
A double mastectomy would bring a radical alteration to her body shape, and Becky's naturally concerned about how she'll look in the future.
With breasts.
Is that the sort
Unlike her mum, she's opted for breast reconstruction immediately after the operation.
Right.
Are you ready to have a look?
Yes. I'm ready. Ready as we'll be.
That's roughly how you look.
Right, OK. Did they take the nipple off this lady as well?
No, these are with
she's got no scar.
These are with preserved nipples.
Breast nurse Leslie Thompson shows her the various reconstructive techniques that are available.
They're her own.
Brilliant.
They're her own nipples.
Because there's no scarring, is there, really, around there?
But yeah, the areola hides scarring really, really well.
How excellent.
How long's that photograph been taken? After the operation?
A fair while after the operation.
Yeah.
This is at around 6 months after the initial surgery.
Oh, that's good. I mean, will they, sort of... Or I know I'm aware of loose sensitivity in the nipple, but I mean, like, if I was to feel here, will I feel it?
It'll feel like you, but basically they're not very sexually active breasts.
Right. Will he be able to make me a little bit bigger if I ask for it? Excellent.
He will.
That's good.
I mean, he will not be able to make you a 40 double D.
I don't want it. Yeah, that's fine.
But he will be able to give you an added cup size.
Excellent. I felt that was a really, really good appointment. It's the first time I've actually seen, what it could look like, and it's helped me now that Carl's seen it. Because you've never seen anything before, haven't you?
No, that's the first time, isn't it?
And you're You said it was good, so it was like, yay, it's all right.
We hope so anyway, don't we?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
But at least it's good to know that that's what they can achieve.
Go, just want to go in with the hair again, just to make sure that's it, just in your eyes, that's fine, yeah. Good.
That's it, just a little bit forward, that's fine, that's fine.
Excellent. There.
For the last 3 years, Becky has helped to organise an annual cancer charity calendar.
Just lean back a little bit, there, that's it. Okay.
This is the last year she'll be photographed with her own breasts.
No. That's it, keep that smile.
I do think people sometimes think that because I'm having this operation, I mustn't not care about what I look like, and that isn't true at all. I care a lot about what I look like, but I'm a realist at the same time and understand that, well, I'm not going to look nice when I'm 6 foot under, am I?
Left, back a little bit, there. Just look at the...
It's an outlook that she's inherited from her mother.
Fantastic, one more.
To me, my breasts weren't pleasurable at all. They were my death sentence, really. That's the way I looked at them at that stage. There was no pleasure there at all. And so I was glad to see the backside of them, really.
Nose to me. Smiley one.
My mum's attitude has rubbed off on me immensely. You don't realise it, but it will have done. I mean, Mum has had a double mastectomy with no reconstruction or anything, and men still find her attractive, you know. Hey up, mother! Are you alright?
Mum Wendy and cousin Helen have also modelled for the calendar, despite both undergoing double mastectomies. All 3 women have had to face up to losing their breasts at different times in their lives.
I think it's brought us closer. We've got something, we've got the fact that we're a family in common, but also that we carry this gene, that we can talk openly to each other. It makes us appreciate each other. We're all in the same boat, we're all going through different stages of it, so we can all talk to each other and keep each other's spirits up.
Right then, my dearies, anybody for a calendar? Oh, you are a star. I think in some respects, same with my cousin and my mum and everybody else, it can make you who you are to a degree. It can make you that bit stronger. I know, I'm examining them before my mother sees her.
In my mind, Becky has got very many more plus things about her than she has negative. Now, OK, she could be a different child without this genetic fault, but maybe she wouldn't have all the lovely characteristics that she has got. I mean, she's, you know, despite the fact that she's got to have this done, she's a tall, beautiful, funny, personable character. And, you know, people do like her. So, I mean, maybe what do you trade for what? You know?
It's now a year since Becky discovered that she carries the breast cancer gene. Having made the decision to have both her breasts removed, she's finally ready to talk to the surgeon in Manchester who will perform the operation.
It's not a cosmetic operation. There is a very important cosmetic aspect to it. A cosmetic operation is one where you've got part of you that you don't like and you have it altered, but it's healthy. Here we've got something that we're actually taking away, and then we're trying to replace it with something else that isn't breast tissue and trying to get it so that you can wear your bikini and whatever you want to do. You know,
understandably, Becky's desperate to look as good as possible after the operation and to retain whatever she can of her old breasts.
Are you sure about what you want to do about your nipples yet?
I personally would like to keep them. Okay. I would.
Okay.
It's something that I've thought about and I would like to keep them if possible. Maybe if they get rejected or whatever, then... I have seen some nipples that have been reconstructed and I did think they were very, very good, actually. They were...
Okay. I want to see you again. I can pencil a date in for you for surgery.
Okay.
The date for the operation is set. In a few months, Becky's breasts will be removed. Despite her worries, she's sure the decision's the right one.
If I've got a choice, there is no way that I'm going to wait until I've got breast cancer. I think that would be incredibly selfish of me. I really do, because I've got this option, an option 1 out of 10 women haven't got, you know, and if I let myself get breast cancer, it would be selfish of me to have to turn around then to my friends and family and say, I've got breast cancer. I could have done something about it, but I didn't.
Today is Becky's birthday, the last one she will have with her own breasts. To try and take her mind off the impending operation, her friends are throwing her a pampering party.
That looks gorgeous. Oh, nice. Oh, it looks beautiful.
It's really her last birthday before everything changes. She's never going to be the same Becky again. And we want to make it so special for her because she's a special person and she's going through so much at the moment. She needs something to take her mind off it, to go out and enjoy herself and just completely forget everything she's doing.
Yay! How fantastic.
I support whatever decision Becky had made. All her friends would. She's explained everything to us really well, so we're clear about everything. I just think she's really brave. Whatever decision she'd have made, it would have been a brave decision to make. She had to make one.
She'd have to live with the consequences if she didn't have the operation.
Yeah, and that would have been just as brave, really, to have to go down that road. So, yes, definitely support her, don't we?
Yeah.
100%.
It's been an emotional day for everyone. And as it draws to a close, Becky's overcome by the support of those around her. With the operation now just weeks away, thoughts turn to life beyond surgery. For a while at least, Becky simply won't be able to wear her normal clothes. So it's time to stock up on some new ones.
So I think this is going to be too low at the back. Yeah. This is what I'm worried about, because I don't want to change too much. Because if you change too much, then it's like, again, it's like a big change to your life, isn't it? So I'm trying to sort of stay wearing pretty much what I normally would wear. It's a bit tight on the old... I don't want to hide away under baggy clothes. I don't want to dress totally differently from what I would before, because that's not me. Can't move. I want to be able to come out of hospital and still be me. I want to try and get back to normal as soon as I possibly can. Next. This is lovely. Really is. Oh, that's nice. Isn't it sweet? But look at the back. Look at the front. Yeah, but they look great now. You could put a brooch on that. That's not the problem. It's the back, because it's really low at the back. It's flattering. That's what I like about it. Next. Moving on.
A week before she's due for her surgery, and Becky's back on the airwaves. It's time to say goodbye to her listeners for a while.
Well, good morning if you're just tuning in to Sean and Becky at Breakfast on Becky's last show for a couple of months. How are you feeling?
Feeling all right, actually, because this time next week, really, it's kind of halfway through being all over.
Got some messages for you.
Oh, lovely.
Dear Becky, I will be thinking of you on the 26th. That is also the day I have my last chemo for breast cancer. We are fighting the same thing in different ways, so you are incredibly brave. Good luck.
So are you, Debbie, and I hope everything goes really, really well for you, Debs, honestly. Thank you very much, and thanks to everybody that's just showing an interest. It's really nice. The support I've had has made what I'm doing so much easier. It's like having hundreds and hundreds of friends around me, even though there's people out there that I don't actually know. They're willing to write in and support me, and it just, it means loads.
Right, so today's Kickstart Your Day song.
I'm going to have difficulties announcing this, I think, without having a tear in my eye. It's a song that I heard, and I just thought, my friends and everybody have been so supportive, as well as you and Naz, and it just reminds me of all my friends and everything, and I'm going to introduce it before I cry. It's Dionne Warwick, That's What Friends Are For.
Becky Measures?
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Oh, God. Thank you so much, everybody. It means a lot.
There's now just 24 hours to go. The hospital bed's ready, and it's time to pack.
I was a little bird.
Yeah, but the point is, he's got his dressing gown.
Oh! He's got a pink dressing gown like me. Oh, thank you, Mummy. I said to my mum, I said, look, I am getting scared. And, Mum said, you're entitled to get scared. You're still a baby, it's quite all right for you to be scared about it. It's major surgery. And she did say, I want to understand that I'm having these moments.
It's Wednesday morning, it's the 25th of January 2006. And it's the day before Becky Measures has her operation, the double mastectomy. She actually goes into hospital today. Well, various viewers to the show have helped put this together. Becky Measures, we love you.
To wish Becky all the best, and we think she's very brave.
I'd like to wish her all the best, and I hope she gets well soon. Can't wait to hear her on the radio again.
Well, except to say, how fantastic is she? She's just amazing, isn't she? Rebecca is an amazing lady. She stands for what all women in this country should stand for. She's brilliant.
Well, just give Becky all the best wish from everybody, will you, pal? I hope she gets well and recovers soon, mate. We're all thinking about her, mate.
Something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Stole the door.
The trip to the hospital brings back vivid memories for Becky's mum, Wendy.
Rebecca Measures.
It's 12 years since she had her operation.
I'm just absolutely going to hate it. I cannot imagine how I'm going to feel at that time. I cannot imagine it. I think I'm going to be just like any other normal parent at that time and be enormously worried till it's over. Then I'll be pleased. I suppose.
I don't know, I'm not sure what to do now. What do we do now?
I'm not really quite sure. I suppose you have to get undressed.
It's a bit real now, isn't it, though? It's in the room. My mum probably will be upset that I've had to go to have this done. But in another respect, she knows more than anybody why it's being done. More than anybody, she knows that. She's upset because, in her eyes, her little girl is having major surgery. Something that she's chosen to do all on her own. It was very strange walking in and seeing people in blue and seeing that lady on the bed as well, and I thought that's going to be me tomorrow. That's a bit odd.
Well,
I'm just hoping I'm going to sleep through everything and then just not know.
Yeah, you will do.
I feel a bit sick now. I feel very sick, actually. A bit odd, but I'm glad I've got all my teddies. I'm like such a girl. Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right, actually, thank you.
Hi,
A bit nervous
how are
now.
you?
For the last time before he operates, surgeon Andrew Baildham pays Becky a visit. He's concerned that she doesn't get her hopes too high about the appearance of her reconstructed breasts.
But I always say to people, don't expect anything tomorrow after the operation. Don't expect to look down and say, "God, isn't he clever?" That's not the purpose of all of this. And if you expect nothing, expect to feel awful, expect to look down and think, what on earth's gone on?
Yeah.
Then if you do see what you think's a nice, neat cleavage and a bit of shape, then
that's a bonus,
so much
isn't
the
it?
better. I think it's extraordinary how well she's dealt with it. She's got a tremendous maturity. To lose your breasts in your early 20s is obviously a huge hit, not just physically but psychologically, and she seems to have accepted it all very stoically and very courageously.
When will I have my first injection of saline, sorry?
About 5 weeks afterwards.
5 weeks.
But we'll put some in tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
We'll put in maybe 200 cc. One of the questions I would always be asked early on is, how can you justify doing this for women who have healthy breasts? And the answer to that is, well, firstly, I don't do it for women who have healthy breasts. I do it for women whose breasts, in their own words sometimes, constitute a bit of a time bomb.
I just wish it could just be done and get on with it, because it's more...
Well, this time tomorrow you'll feel fine. Have your new boobs and it'll all be over.
It's just about making them then, isn't it?
You'll just be getting writing and having a cup of tea, maybe.
It's like something to look forward to then, isn't it? It's done and then it's all about making the new boobs.
This time tomorrow it's gone. It's over. No more problems. All the nasty stuff's done.
All the nasty stuff's over and done with.
Yeah. Okay. That's the main thing, isn't it?
Yep.
Today is January the 26th. It's the day that Becky Measures has been thinking about for the past 6 months. Becky is now in a hospital in Manchester, and she is awaiting her operation later on today. So, of course, we all wish her well. Thank you so much again for your well wishes.
Finally, after 2 years of agonising, the time's come for Becky to have her breasts removed.
I'm coming down now. I'm not going to talk too much because I'll cry.
Okay then.
Okay.
See you in a bit.
See you later. See you later.
Okay?
Yes.
If you could do something about it, you would do, but there's nothing you can do. That's the way it goes. You could say if you could stand in a place, but it could never happen. So you just support her as much as possible.
I've spoken about this for so long, and even though I'm nervous, even though, you know, a little bit inside of me is scared, I know it's the right thing to do and I'm ready for it. I'm really ready for it. I'm out of talking now. I'm just totally ready for the next step.
Right, can you just undo your bows at the back? It's strange being looked at and marked up, but it's very important.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like you had some artwork.
I'm worried about the pain, I'm worried about coming round, I'm worried about looking at it for the first time. I think I'm going to want to have a look, but then in the next breath, be a bit scared too. Or I'm going to want to know that everything's gone all right. Because there is the risk that it might get infected or it might go wrong. There's the risk of the nipples dying and, you know, that type of thing. So I'm just going to want to know everything's gone okay. I'm going to cry now and I don't know why.
If all goes well, Becky's operation should take around 3 hours.
I just wanted it to be done now, that's it.
And as the minutes tick by, all Wendy and Carl can do is wait. Becky's surgery gets underway. The surgeon will try to remove as much of Becky's breast tissue as possible, while attempting to save the breast skin and nipples.
Now, the big danger of this is that if you leave a little bit too much breast tissue in, you can always take that out before you finish the operation. But if you take too much tissue under the skin, you can never put that back. And you've then got a problem as to whether it's going to live, whether it's going to heal.
The team will also attempt to reconstruct the breasts using tissue expanders. The delicate procedure then involves sewing the skin and nipples back together.
At the moment, that nipple is looking fine, although I've taken away 2 of those blood supplies already. The important thing here is not to undercut it, otherwise that will cause trouble.
As the operation progresses, Wendy and Carl wait anxiously for a progress report.
I feel like her now, you know, I just want it to finish and I'll be back and start rebuilding her life and new boobs, of course. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be natural if I wasn't upset. I think we're about halfway through now, I think, and so far all going well, so that's good.
Two hours in, the medical team have now removed Becky's breast tissue. They must now start the reconstruction.
This is basically a very expensive breast-shaped balloon. You can see the 2 chambers there. And if you look at it sideways, you can see that we can expand the upper one separately from the lower one. So that is absolutely perfect for Becky's chest size and shape. OK, let's put that expander in on the right, please.
It's only in the last 15 years that women have been offered a double mastectomy to prevent cancer, and it's still a rare choice. Very few women in Britain have this operation each year, and at 24, Becky is the youngest.
So you see the breasts are actually now taking shape, and we'll expand these up over 6 to 8 months, and then we'll take these expanders out and we'll put permanent, anatomically shaped, gel-filled implants in, and I think she'll be able to get undressed in a changing room and hopefully look normal. OK, we've got 200 in the lower chamber on the left as well now.
By 1 p.m, the operation's over. The surgeon's confident it's been a success.
That's gone extremely well. It's taken about 3 hours, which is what we expected. You can see that we've already got a nice shape there on both of the breasts, which will then expand up. The nipples, I'm sure, are going to be absolutely fine. There's a good blood flow there, and there's no worries that we have about that. So she's behaved very well indeed, actually. Good.
The team at Wythenshawe Hospital have performed more than 160 similar operations on women with the faulty gene, and so far, not one has developed breast cancer. As a result of the operation, Becky has reduced her risk of getting the disease from 85% to 7%.
You're doing great. It's all gone really well. It's over, yeah, it's done. It's brilliant. Well, it's relief, huge relief. It's good. Wonderful.
Within several hours, Becky regains consciousness. And, unable to resist the temptation, she's seen her new breasts for the first time.
Hello.
And he is the man himself. Are you alright?
So how does it feel?
It hurts very slightly. Just obviously because it feels like I've pulled a muscle. But I had a look by accident earlier. I love it.
So have you peeped?
Oh, I have. I can't stop it.
Can I see?
Yes.
You don't have to look.
No, I like it.
No, that's fine.
I'm terrified now of getting an infection.
No, we're not planning on that.
No, because I like them so much.
Okay. They're fine. Good.
They're bloody superb.
Have you felt them?
No, because I didn't know if I should do or not.
Let me take your hand.
Okay.
Just move your elbow slightly across and just put your fingers round your breast there, and then you can feel the shape.
They feel good.
Will that do?
They're rock hard, but they feel good. They're marvellous.
Try the other one with your other hand.
Do you know, this one side hurts so much more.
Oh.
I don't feel like I could get my arm around. It's weird. They feel great. You are geniuses, all of you. I think you're fabulous. I really, really do. Yeah, I can't thank you enough. It's superb. I could cry now, I'm happy. Well, I just feel so privileged, I really do. To feel them, they're a bit numb and they do hurt, but no, they're mine. They're my skin, my nipples. They've just got something else in them to enhance them. But they're better than they were because these ones aren't bad. These are good ones and they're not going to hurt me.
Becky's relief that all has gone well is shared by Carl. Both had been secretly worried at how he would react after the operation.
I know that was a thing for her, showing them me. She was worried what my reactions would be. I was a bit worried myself about it. I didn't know what to expect, but the end result ended up turning out fantastic, better than anybody expected. So, yeah, I know she's over the moon because she won't stop showing them everybody. So, yeah, it's been brilliant.
Hello, dudes.
Brought you loads of chocolates.
Oh my god. Oh my god, yeah. Look at the balloons and things. Flowers. You're going to have to see my boobs. I'll have to show you. You're beautiful. I feel really good. I think I came round from the op and I was laughing and smiling because I was like happy to wake up. And I saw these for the first time. I was like, oh my God. Oh, but Jesus, where'd they come from? And, well, in 2 seconds. There's a bit of blood and stuff, but you can... Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Go on. No.
Oh, wow.
They don't look any different.
Becky, that's brilliant.
Mike. Let me have a closer look.
Isn't it unbelievable?
Oh my God. Amazing.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what to say. It is absolutely amazing.
Can you imagine when I woke up and I looked down and saw these puppies? Brilliant.
Well,
they've got to grow yet. They're amazing. They are. I mean, I just hope that from this, I learn to make the most of everything, and I think I will. I think I've already got that in me, but I'm gonna make sure that I push myself as much as I can push myself and make the most of everything. Because I think if this has taught me anything, it's taught me that you've got one chance, and I've been given a great chance, and I'm gonna make the most of it, totally.
Becky Measures is now the youngest woman in Britain to undergo a preventative double mastectomy. The years of worrying whether she had the faulty gene and the months waiting for the operation are now at an end. It's time to look forward to the future.
The minute I woke up, I realised that I wasn't any different. I was still me. No matter, I hadn't even looked down at that stage, no nothing. But I knew I was still the same person as I was before I went in, and I was really happy about that.
Fantastic. She would be a nightmare.
I have changed sort of my own fate, my own destiny, really. If this had been me 20 years ago, in another 5 years' time, I'd have probably had breast cancer. I feel very honoured that I've been given a choice, you know, and I think that's been the major thing that's kept me going, is that I've got a choice. You know, it's my choice. Nobody else is making it for me. Destiny's not making it for me. You know, nothing else. It's mine.
Is to Becky. To Becky.
Oh. It's possibly one of the best things I think I have ever done in my life so far.
To Becky's boobs.
Hey!